The night air was not just thick with tension, but seemed to be alive with an electric charge, as if the very atmosphere was warning the campers of the dread that lay ahead. The moon, a mere sliver in the sky, provided little illumination, casting elongated shadows that twisted and turned with the whims of the wind. As both groups of campers exchanged worried glances, their breaths visible in the cold air, a sense of foreboding settled over them. The darkness seemed to press in from all sides, and the silence of the night was broken only by the distant, desperate cries that had drawn them from the safety of their tents. With hearts pounding in their chests, they ventured cautiously into the darkened field, their flashlights cutting through the shadows like beacons of hope. The beams of light seemed feeble against the oppressive darkness that engulfed the field, and the campers' hands trembled as they clutched their only sources of light. As they drew nearer to the source of the cries, a cold shiver ran down their spines. There, illuminated by the pale glow of the moon, stood the figure, a towering, ghostly presence that seemed to flicker in and out of existence like a phantom. Its eyes, if it had any, were hidden in the depths of its formless face, but the campers felt its gaze upon them, cold and unyielding. Fear gripped the campers as they approached, their footsteps faltering with each uncertain step. But as they drew closer, the figure began to retreat, its form melting into the darkness like a wisp of smoke. The air grew colder, and a mist began to rise from the ground, swirling around their feet and obscuring their vision. Undeterred, the campers pressed on, their determination fueled by the desperate cries for help that echoed through the night. But no matter how hard they searched, they found no trace of the mysterious figure, or the lost child it seemed to mimic. It was as if the earth had swallowed them whole. As dawn broke over the horizon, the campers returned to their tents, haunted by the events of the night. Though they tried to convince themselves it was just a trick of the imagination, the memory of the ghostly figure lingered in their minds, a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lurked in the darkness. For weeks afterward, they couldn't shake the feeling that they had stumbled upon something otherworldly that night, a presence from beyond the realm of the living, beckoning them into the unknown. And though they returned home safely, the memory of that eerie encounter would stay with them forever, a ghostly whisper in the depths of their minds. But the story didn't end there. As the campers tried to resume their normal lives, they found themselves plagued by nightmares, each more vivid and terrifying than the last. In their dreams, they would return to the field, and the figure would be there, waiting for them, its cries now twisted into malevolent laughter. One by one, the campers began to disappear. No trace of them was ever found, save for their abandoned tents and belongings. The last to vanish left behind a journal, its pages filled with frantic scribbles about a curse and a vengeful spirit that had marked them that fateful night. The field where they had camped became a place of legend, a haunted ground where the barrier between worlds was thin. And the figure, now known as the Wraith of the field, continued to lure unsuspecting souls into its domain, where they would be consumed by the darkness, never to be seen again. The campers had sought an adventure, but what they found was a horror beyond comprehension, a reminder that some mysteries are best left unsolved, and some places are best left unexplored. The whispers of the wind seemed to carry their voices, forever entwined with the wails of the Wraith, a symphony of the damned that chilled the bones of any who dared to listen. The locals spoke of the field in hushed tones, warning travelers to steer clear of its cursed grounds. They told tales of an ancient burial site, hidden beneath the soil, where restless spirits roamed, bound by a dark history of betrayal and bloodshed. The campers, unknowingly, had disturbed this sacred ground, awakening the wrath of the spirits that lay in wait. The Wraith was their sentinel, a spectral guardian doomed to wander the field for eternity, punishing those who dared to trespass. As the campers' disappearances became known, a chilling pattern emerged. Each vanishing occurred on the night of a new moon, when darkness reigned supreme. And on those nights, if one listened closely, the cries of the lost could be heard, mingling with the howling of the wind, a macabre lullaby that spoke of eternal unrest. The field, once a place of laughter and life, was now a desolate expanse, where the ground seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. Those who ventured too close reported seeing apparitions, hearing whispers, and feeling unseen hands brush against their skin. The Wraith, with its hollow cries and flickering form, became a symbol of pure terror, a reminder of the thin veil that separates the living from the dead. And as the legend grew, so did the fear, until the field was left to the spirits, a haunted haven where the living dared not tread.